Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the British Open 2019 doubles final. We are just about to do the coin toss between players, handing over to Andrew Lyons.
Gentlemen, coin toss. Rob can call between you and your partner. What is it?
The verdict is tails, so Cam and John to serve. Enjoy the final.
This one? This one?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Queen's Club for the 2019 British Open doubles final. Before I introduce the players, can I please ask you to switch off your phones and do not use flash photography, thank you. Introducing the players at the receiving end, please welcome the number 2 seeds, Rob Fahey playing with Nicky Howell. At the service end, please welcome the number 1 seeds, Camden Riviere playing with John Lumley. This final is the best of 5 6-game sets. Players are ready. First game level. Chase more than the yard worse than last gallery.
This is Ben Runnelson here commentating on the final, and I'm joined by Chris Rumblebum.
15 love. Love.
Sorry, Dad was off having a nap, so we're just getting started now.
15-30.
Let's see the serving patterns.
Oh.
We want high serves, but not quite that high.
it's a lot tougher for Camden to see how tall the court is.
40-15, more than a yard worse.
Slightly overly careful a shot from John in this first game. I do need to start this by apologising to Camden's mum, who seemed to get upset about a couple of things yesterday, so
Been playing with it, it's all over.
I'll try not to do the same again.
It's not set to 0.
Watching the singles on the live stream last night, I must congratulate Ryan Carey.
Service lead 40-15, more than a yard worse than last gallery. Game servers. First game.
Yeah, I think Cam might have got it if it hadn't hit the first gallery post.
Love.
So just to give you some background information to this teamwork, Nicky has an injured hand. He's got stitches in both his hands, actually.
Love.
As a result of a wine glass, I think, exploding in his fists the other night, and it means that he can do most things, but forcing is a little bit of a struggle for him. So.
Why a top player has a wine glass in his hand. That's a big shot.
15-30.
To me, is how far forwards John Lumley and Cam Riviere are playing at Hasdale.
Oh.
Yeah, they get.
It's changed over the last few years.
All.
A good example of that there in that rally. John virtually standing on the service line, getting slightly caught out by an unusual shot, but looking to be incredibly aggressive.
Just to clarify a technical point, are you allowed to serve over the beams here?
No, not here.
40-30 servers. Game servers. 2 games to love.
Fahey Howell team. You don't come into this match as favourites.
Chase, worse than 4.
Yeah, so the Fahey Howell team is Team Australia. The other side, there's a bit of confusion over this week.
Worse
you
than
need to
4,
ask his
second
mum.
gallery.
So a member came up to me and said he watched a quarter-final and there's some dude against some Asian kid. I said, racking my brains trying to work out who he was talking about, and turns out to be John Lumley. I don't know what Colin would think about that. There's never been any concern over where John comes from, has there?
As far as I know.
No strokes. Chase worse than 4.
Well, we're having Colin, his dad, here.
There are sensitive listeners for that comment.
15 love, second gallery. All.
Yeah, Cam's right for getting very close to the centre line on multiple occasions during that rest.
Time, second gallery, 15 all. Fault. $30-15. All.
Yeah, I'm not sure Camden was serving quite this loose yesterday. I think he's giving John quite a lot to handle.
Oh! 40-30, second gallery.
Last 5 years, Ben.
Well, mine hasn't. Everything's just more aggressive. I think.
They had to reset it, though. They've all gone crazy now.
Even Rob plays very similar stuff to what he does in singles.
I've got no idea how to reset it. I'm just
he's had
having
a lot
to
of
use
different
paper.
partnerships over time, but one of the strongest partnerships in
40-30,
recent years
receiver.
has been
Second gallery.
Tim and Cam, and Tim
Second gallery.
just tees off down the middle very, very often. There's a lot more straight forcing, where there used to be more.
Game receivers.
There used to be more main wall forcing.
One game to two.
There's still that, of course, but the force down the middle of the court, just inside the back player's backhand is.
Love.
Camden's hitting the ball harder this year. As a counter puncher, he now seems to be taking the lead a bit more often.
Are you seeing the ball as well this year?
Second gallery, 15 love. Second gallery, better than 6, 15 love.
So we've got Nicky Howell playing with Rob here. Nicky's very pleased to have got into the whole World Championship Challenge process. He'll be playing against Camden in the first eliminator,
while I think Ben Taylor Matthews is playing Chris Chapman.
Whereas John here was disappointed. He needed to get a final, I believe, out of the British Open to squeak in ahead of Nicky. But yeah, everyone's
Service lead, 15 love. Second gallery.
If John will be pushing hard to get in the next time. Certainly had a good year.
Second gallery. Full.
Yes, and for those of us who are worried about the future of the game, John's the only player in the 20s who's at top level.
30 love, better than 6.
Players in the world are over 30. It's quite a concern.
chase. 40 love.
Yeah, well, there haven't been a huge number of upsets in this tournament over the last week. A notable one was Freddie Bristow beating Rod McNaughton. And,
Game servers.
Freddie Bristow and Ned Baxton are the two
games all.
still in the teams. Yes.
Full.
that was very long, wasn't it? Camden's still a bit new to this high serving malarkey, but doing quite well with it.
15 love.
Yeah, it's an interesting shot that from Rob, because these guys are all very well trained to deal with the main wall force off the floor. But it's a different kind of fish when it's off the volley. It comes to you a lot different.
Well, doesn't it?
30 love. $15, 30. $30 all. $40-30.
It's quite impressive from Rob there to be caught out by this mover's feet. I mean, he had a huge number of steps there and still hit a great shot.
Great communication from both teams there.
Second gallery, 40-30.
Well, it's interesting when you got the guy standing at a yard worse than last gallery calling the ball coming off the penthouse is coming down flush when John's standing right there.
And both Camden and John play their backhand volleys double-handed, especially under pressure.
Hang on, let me just... Service lead, 40-30, second gallery. Service lead, 40-30, second gallery. Juice.
Unusually low high serve from Rob there. Gets him in trouble.
How much do these guys vary their high serves?
I think we saw Camden serving at least 3 different high serves, possibly 4 yesterday.
Service advantage.
3 of them looking quite similar.
Game servers. Service lead 3 games to 2. First
An
set.
unusual point. Very low high serve from Rob again there, and an unusual mistake from Camden, I'd say.
Love. Oh. 30 love.
So we've had to make a new rule for this British Open. So if you hit any of the cameras in the dead on now, it's officially in.
Hazard second gallery, 30 love. Pull. Fifteen, 30. Pull.
How do you think Camden moves in doubles compared to a singles?
Watching the way he stands forward, I'm surprised he wasn't aiming to shape him to take that last ball there.
Hazard second gallery and the second gallery, 15-30.
An impressive doubles record of Tim Chisholm. To what extent do you think these players are playing the right shot for the occasion or trying to pick out the perceived weaker player on the other side?
Well, it was really enjoyable seeing Nicky play a semi-final because I remember a couple of years ago he'd make a series of errors, not necessarily all the time, but just he'd have like periods of 3 games where his volley was kind of slightly struggling. He was standing a long way up the court. I chatted with Nicky before he went out there, and he's purposely conceding the galleries, assuming a tight serve from the first point, and then only moving up after that. So he's now volleying at 4 and 5, looking to stop the cut shot and the boast and all
Service
that kind of
lead,
stuff.
15-30.
And he had an impressive
Hazard
serve.
second gallery.
Didn't make too many mistakes with his volley, and is basically trying to get the ball back all the time until Rob can put it away by his own admission because he can't force at the moment.
.40-15, second gallery. Game.
That's a hell of a shot there.
3 games all.
As for the perceived weaker player of John, well, both with Rob and Camden, keeping the ball away from them is a harder task than it seems quite often.
15 love. Chase the door, 15 love. All.
Yeah, you're quite right. The communication between these two is, I mean, Cam calling that up from the outside the court at chase 6 is.
Oh.
So early as well.
Door and chase 4, 15 all.
Should I take my tissue?
All. Door and 4.
Yeah.
All, chase the door.
After last night. Extraordinary athlete, isn't he? 51.
.30-15 servers, chase 4.
Why should Rob be stiff after last night?
Won the chase. 30 all.
No, I think the score from yesterday, which was 3-3 and 2 in the final, it was a better match than the score sounds.
Chase 6, 30 all.
I wonder if that's a reasonable distinction between the, as you say, perceived weaker players on court. There was a hard shot that came off the backcourt to Chase 5.
40-30, Chase 6.
It certainly seems to me that the players are coping with the volley much better when it's dead on height than when it's nick height.
Yeah. So there was a ball in the last game which hit the backcourt, came out to 5, which John didn't chase or get, and similarly that one with Nicky there that came out to 6 or whatever, that
Oh yeah.
one would feel the other two players would have flicked back in some manner.
No, Pete. Service lead 40-30, Chase 6.
And you do have
Chase
the thing
6.
where you're playing with an incredibly strong player, and there's some subconscious expectation for them to get more of the balls than you.
Deuce. Out of court. Service advantage.
Swift coverage of the second gallery there.
Deuce.
Get the impression Camden's seeing the ball incredibly early, just kind of almost too fast on it.
Fault.
Have you ever seen a quicker player around the court than Camden?
No, I don't think so.
Service advantage.
Yeah, he did incredibly well to get one of those backhand volleys down on the floor.
Game. Service lead 4-3. First set. Second gallery. Second gallery.
That question of speed around
Both
the court,
chases.
I think the only rivals to Camden I've seen in
No strokes.
48 years are Howard Angus, very quick around the court. The young Rob, when Rob was in his 20s, he had an explosive speed. And Nick Wood was actually very quick around the court. He used to flow like mercury, always be there.
Slightly more streamlined, Nick.
No strokes. Second gallery. love, second gallery. All. Well.
Good shot.
Camden and John paying the price.
30-15.
Too far forward. It's the first one that's really cost them, isn't it?
Well, your eldest son, I think the scariest person I've faced. Well, similar attributes. I didn't say that.
All.
Your brother Steve used to turn inside a bad serve and thumped it pretty hard. At the highest level.
Oh.
I mean, Tim seriously chucks it down there when he's volleying the return of serve. Dave Woodman used to scare the pants off me because he didn't know where I was going. But there's something about the way Rob was hitting the ball in the World Championships last year. It was just something else for me. It's not necessarily about the speed, just the weight on the ball.
That's one of the big differences between the 2016 and 2018 championships. Cameron was able to cope with that pace in 2016 because Rob was amazing.
Game servers. Four games all.
Well, very tight contest so far. I feel like some of Camden's speed is taken away from him on the doubles court.
Love.
Bit of an unreasonable wrist roll he does on those ones, isn't it? He hit a force off the timbre on the volley into the deadline against Rob yesterday, which just Rob had no chance on.
Worse than 6, 15 love.
Great covering from Rob behind Nicky.
Fault.
All right, I'm thinking that you played with Camden in a recent British Open doubles.
I'm not sure recent. I think it was 6-7 years ago now.
all.
I think it really says something that we lost in the semis because Camden plus anyone should really reach the final. As long as that anyone has the sense to get out of the way. I'm not that guy.
of a second to decide that, don't you?
40-15, chase worse than 6.
So has Rob already
We have
served
some
more
balls,
high
please.
serves? Already served more high serves today than he did yesterday?
I think so. He's very keen on doing his railroad, and persisted with it even when he was obviously losing with it.
So Camden's usual partner, Tim Chisholm, unfortunately has had to have 2 operations on his knees since this time last year. The first one, which I think went terribly badly, caused a lot of complications and was quite painful for Tim. And he certainly, we're hoping to have him again this year. But much as this is wonderful for John, and maybe this
Service
partnership
lead,
will continue,
40-15, chase worse than 6.
everybody hopes Tim will be back in the doubles field at least at some point soon.
Oh.
Steve Vagona through retirement.
Retirement?
Out of court, game servers, 5 games to 4.
Against his last year.
Was that before he had his baby? I mean, he knew that before, or just because?
Second gallery.
Well, he can always change his mind.
And another mission we have to this British Open is Kieran Booth, who's religiously turned up.
The best amateur player.
15 love.
Although I've been assured that he's hoping to come along again next year.
Second gallery and Hazard, second gallery. 15
And
love.
just by means of explanation, the World Championship cycle lasts for 2 years, and you're trying to accrue points over the course of those 2 years to then get a challenge. And a lot of it's kind of known by the second half of the second year. So Kieran knew that he couldn't get into the challenge process for this British Open, so I think he's got a plan starting accruing the points again next year.
Receivers lead, 15 love. Chase the second gallery. $30 love, Hazard, second gallery. Yep.
Well, both, because he can't string his own rackets anymore.
Oh.
You have to get Neil Mackenzie to do it today. And whilst Neil's a very highly strung person, I'm not sure the racket is. But no, it's pretty tight.
$40 love.
That is a great shot that could have gone in the winning gallery on a bad day.
Game in the first set. First set, 6 games to 4. Second set, love all. Love.
That was a dirty way to win a set, wasn't it?
$30 love. $30 love. Hazard first gallery.
Great rest.
30 love. Fault.
I wonder if we're going to see a bit more of John and Nicky hammering at each
Double
other.
fault. 15-30. Out of court. 30 all.
Yeah, both players currently singling out Nicky as much as they can.
(40-30) Hazard first gallery.
My contract has expired, so I'm going to be handing over this microphone very shortly to Colin Lumley, who started work with me in Melbourne 45 years ago yesterday.
Whoa.
Service lead 40-30. Hazard first gallery. Game servers, first game, second set. (15 love). Oh. (30 love).
Well, for a man who can't force, that was a pretty good one.
(15-30).
It's one of the few places you might find errors with Rob's game. Very rare, but they happen. Backhand volley.
(30 all). (40-30).
Whoa.
Game servers, 2 games to love. Oh.
Cam not quite finding his range with that high one today. Always going a little bit long, but it's the safer way to be.
15 love. Fault. all. $30-15.
It's funny, Camden making a few mistakes simply because he's used to running onto that ball from a different angle.
No. Chase better than 2. 30-15.
Camden very much a player who does incredibly well because he's constantly moving. It's much harder for him to transfer that game into doubles. And he tends to be better at doubles when he's, effectively in his mind covering all the court.
all. $40-30, Chase better than 2.
And John's been doing a good job of digging those cut volleys out. Hasn't made too many mistakes as Rob rips them in there.
Huh?
And the main plan for when you're serving against Rob is to not give him a really loose ball off the back wall that he can absolutely wail down the middle. Which explains a lot of Cam's service selections, the high serves, short demi PKs, nothing that'll sit up. I'm joined by Colin Lumley.
Receivers lead 40-30. Chase better than 2.
So first question, Colin, who's better, John or you at your best?
John.
That was quick.
Lost the chase, fell 2.
It's a fantastic lead from Rob there.
Juice.
Confident. Yeah, Rob's always had issues with chase lines being called on the line. It's one of his pet peeves, even if it happens.
Full.
So Colin, do you ever win this Open?
No, I never won this Open. I won the Australians, but I never won these ones over here.
Advantage receivers.
So Dad was saying you first started work with him 45 years ago yesterday? Yeah.
It's 45 years yesterday, yes. Every year he says another year on the Richter scale. But yes, I've had 45 years of fantastic tennis in my life. Very lucky.
Juice.
Of course, the game's changed so much since when I was at my peak with the development of the synthetic in the strings and also the development in the rackets. So in my view, I think the ball probably travels 50% faster in today's rallies than it did when I started, when we had, gut and rackets that used to crack in the throat of the racket all the time.
Out of court. Advantage receivers.
Golf, they often hold a hickory tournament, so the good players get out with the hickory sticks. So maybe we should have a real tennis event where everyone's got to play with gut rackets and rackets that crack if you hit too hard.
Game receivers.
Interesting event.
3 games to love.
The development of the brain since then as well, has that been a factor?
I think everyone's just so much fitter.
Full.
Playing so much more. But, the development of the racket has made a big difference, and I think we've been lucky that we've avoided the trap of graphite, which again would have made the ball go faster. But watching the final of Rob
15 love.
Cam yesterday, they were using rackets at about 350 grams. Well, you know, if you go back to, you know, the late 1890s, they were using 420 grams, and I was using 390 grams, and of course you just can't swing a racket with that weight that fast. So that's another great change.
Door.
The power he gets on that boast is just amazing.
Second gallery, 15 love.
Yeah, that's a feasibly strong shot from there. Camden's a lot. Second, yeah. Cam's a lot stronger than his body looks.
Yeah, and you know, he had that shoulder injury, which thankfully he's got over now. Back playing forward.
Oh. Right. 15 all.
I mean, that's a fortunate result, but an unbelievable shot at the same time.
Oh.
Serving to try to stop that force, trying to stop the person from having any momentum to create extra.
No. 4 and 5. Door 4 and 5. No. I thought it was a door.
Missing quite
two
an
bounce
achievement
rule,
here
right?
tonight, as you
Two bounces
watched the
down.
singles yesterday, which Cam was the victor, but that gave him the Grand Slam in the singles for this year, so he's actually achieved his Grand Slam. But tonight in the doubles, as he's going for his second Grand
because
Slam,
there's no
in
not tied up.
the doubles, having done the Grand Slam in 2017.
15 all.
Tonight,
Chase
getting
the
Grand Slam
door.
again.
Chase the door. 15 all.
With Tim on two of them.
No,
and
it
then
went.
with
It went
John
in and through the
be,
post. Then.
well, tonight and in the French, so that's a hell of an achievement.
I think it was the door.
Rob's actually won 12 British Open titles with 5 different partners, and over the last 11 years he's had 5 wins and he's had 4 runners-up, so it's a hell of an achievement again. Thanks,
30-15. Chase 4 and 5. 4 and 5.
Should John going to win this? Will be his first British Open title.
Yes, he's got 3 majors.
40-15.
All of them French. He won it with Ben in 2016, and then he won it with Cam in 17 and 19. Nick's won 2 doubles titles. He's the defending champion with Rob at this event.
Has it? Anyone? Chase the door. Shut up. How's it half? Thank you.
The players are actually marking themselves.
All right.
But
40-15 receivers. Hazard better than half a yard. Fault. Game receivers, 4 games to love.
It's a ridiculous shot, really. So hard.
That's such an advantage for a left.
Whoa.
The right-handed just can't get that power, but a double-handed person like James Mail or John can get the power, but not the speed and accuracy that we can get with a left-handed forehand.
Chase better than 3.
Well, I think it's one of the biggest changes to the right-handed and left-handed game underneath the grill is people knowing they need to do more than chip it back into the backhand corner.
Yes, if you just keep chipping it back, you're going to end up losing the point. But if you do a bit more forward, so you might
court,
lose the
15
occasion
love.
by trying to hit it harder, but it pays off in the long run. over the beams, which
Oh.
on the Queens is that's out of court at Queens, isn't it? If it goes over the beams.
What just happened there? No, but Rob purposely throated a first serve bobble. Yeah. Messing with Cam's head.
30 love.
Gavin has been shaking his head a lot for the last minute.
Better than 3, last gallery.
Look at him.
30 love.
Cam's not happy about something. Yeah. Seriously miffed about something.
Receivers lead, 30 love. Chase better than 3.
You can tell when Cam gets miffed because he
Oh.
becomes a wobble head dog at the back of a car thing.
The Churchill dog.
One to chase. 40 love, last gallery.
Probably the single biggest change to the doubles game in the last 20 years. Straight force. And everyone was main or force. Lockie's favourite shot in doubles, but the one down the middle that Tim's been loving.
Yeah, you go back to the order players pre-Lockie and that lot. When I first started.
Game receivers.
Not many people volleyed very well. You had Frank Willis wasn't
One
a great
game to
volley,
4.
David Carl, and then along came Gene Scott, who was an ex-Status Cup player, and his volley was just unbelievable, and it just put everyone into shock to what could be done. And again, the railroad has become such dominant that people have got better at volleying that back. Now the volley's become a real. That's the real.
I'm not marking it now. I just helped the last one. Sorry.
How's the yard, both chases?
I thought it was worse than the yard at least. Maybe I
Nice
should be
stroke.
marking it.
It's a hazard for sure, no doubt. So it was great to see on the streaming that I think there was over 1,000 people that have watched last night's when I looked at it earlier today, which just shows, it's just
No
pretty
strokes.
impressive.
Hazard at yard.
Any of these people want to come along and watch here anytime, that'd be good too.
Yeah, we've got
Time,
quite a
please.
crowd here today. Probably
Quiet,
what,
please, thank you.
60 people, 50, 60 people. Shot.
15 love receivers. Hazard at yard.
Talking to Cam last night after his singles, he said he just couldn't believe how well Rob served the railroad throughout the match. Because this court has been difficult to bring it back, but every single time Cam was just scraping it off the barrier.
I think people need to remember that this court is not the court that it was 10 years ago. When they took all the oil out of the walls in the penthouse, serving the back wall grips a lot more than it used to.
That's the sort of stuff.
15 all.
Coach, it's just instinct. Great ball ability.
John aiming down the line there?
Yes, I think he was aiming for that one. Might have been going for the dead on, but missed it.
So where does John get his talent from? You or Mum?
Mum, definitely.
Very quick with these answers.
Well, he always used to say he wants to take after his mum, not his dad, because Dad was only number 3 in the world, whereas Mum was world champion, so it's pretty obvious.
Out of court. $30 all. 30 all. Fault. No chase.
It's a little unusual to serve a high serve from as far back as better than 5, isn't it? You can't quite get the same angle coming across.
Get the sort of peak in it as much, but I actually was talking to Cam last night, and I couldn't believe how deep he was pitching it on this court. And
40-30.
This penthouse, as you were saying, taking the oil out, you know, really pulls it up. It doesn't skid down the court at all, so you can pitch it so much deeper to get it becoming cross parallel with the back. See, that one's very deep again, and it's still way short of back wall. Whereas a lot of courts you can serve the back, sort of dead, you'd be on the back penthouse.
Juice.
Standing worse than 4, then.
Oh. Nope. A yard better than second gallery. Juice.
Yeah, Nicky's been very good at looking for all the volleys they've been sending at him, but was a little slow off the mark to get that short one.
Yeah, as we know, he's had his injured hand, so it's great to see that he's been able to play in the event. Having got stitches in both his left and right hand. He was thinking 5 days before the event that he wasn't even going to be able to
Yard
play.
better than second gallery. Both chases. Juice. Can I have some balls, please?
Well, all the players here wearing kind of either orange or pink on their shoes. Must be a thing. So 3 out of the 4 professionals on court living in America. We have John in Philly, Cam in South Carolina. Oh no, he's in Boston at the moment. Sorry, Boston, yeah. And Nicky, Newport. At least we've still got Rob. Seems crazy to me that Rob needs to continue to apply for a visa.
Juice. Chase a yard better than second gallery.
Yeah, yeah. Every 2.5, 3 years.
A yard better than second gallery. Juice. Serves advantage. Chase a yard better than second gallery. Game servers. Servers lead 5 games to 1. Second set.
The 5 players that he's
Hazard first gallery.
on this event with were Frankie Filippelli, he's won first world with some time ago. I don't know if Frankie won
Out of court, 15 love.
any other ones. I know Frankie's won Australian Opens doubles, but I don't think he won the British again after that. And then of course he had a great partnership where he was playing with Rory Gunn for many, many years. Then Rory went back to Australia.
Hazard first
so
to
he
chase
won
the door.
with Steve Agona.
Has chased the
Then
door.
we've also got James Mayle. He won the British Open with James Mayle 1 year, which was a hell of an achievement. And then, of course, now he's taken the title last year with Nicky and in the running for it today.
Why is it a hell of an achievement to win a British Open with James Mayle? James was pretty good in the air, wasn't he?
Servers lead 15 love.
Yep. But,
Hazard first gallery.
He's still playing a lot of rackets.
Hazard first gallery.
Doesn't hurt.
But you know, for those that haven't seen James play in the world, he's quite unique because he's double-handed on both sides. So he doesn't have a forehand, he doesn't have
30 love.
So actually when you
Chase the
forehand,
door.
initially you'd start to warm up with him and you'd see him hitting double-hand on one side, so you say, oh, well, I'll test out his other side. So you hit the other side and bango, he's hitting double-hand there as well. I always feel that double-hand is great.
Court.
Extra power into the shot, but it's
40
definitely
love.
in the corners. It's that little bit hard to make that very last second manoeuvre to get the ball back. So you can, it's not as flexible as one hand. So John used to be double-handed, and we've actually developed his single-handed backhand more and more in recent years to be able to just move that racket that little bit faster to get that ball.
2 games to 5.
And, you know, when you think of the game of rackets with James Lowe with double-handed both sides, and he was world champion for 7 years or something, it's just a hell of an achievement to think how much he got away. He managed to play that level with double-handed on both sides.
15 love. Fault. All. Thirty 15.
But he's looking a bit looser now. They're 5-2 up here.
You can feel the tension starting to build a little bit, can't you? I think John and Cam would be pleased to close this set out. Great shot on, dominating the serve.
40-15.
Really, really clever shot from Rob there.
Yeah, very high. Right on the wall.
Game to the servers, 3 games to 5.
Strong game, very, very clever shots from Rob.
Love.
Very hard to defend that.
Yeah, it's not going as fast as Rob's, but it's very accurate.
Yes, that's something that everyone can take a little leaf out of the book. You don't have to hit it hard all the time. It's just better to be a little bit less pace, but accurate.
30 love.
John just put a little bit extra into that one, but force the error from Rob's volley.
$40 love.
Yep. Well, they've got points to go to 2 sets to love, and they're at the hazard end, which is where you want to be. So I expect some dead on. Yep.
Game of the second set.
That's the second set, and retain the hazard end to select who's receiving.
Second set, 6 games to 3.
Yeah, an intentional flat sidewall penthouse
Time
off
out,
just to
please.
try and shake Cam up, but he's relatively unfazed by that last serve.
I remember we saw Rob and Nicky, I think it was in the semi, they lost the second set 6 love, but again they elected to sort of go to the hazard end and lose it, but made sure they were able to swap across on the next set.
Yeah, Rob, I reckon arguably purposely ripped a returner serve at 40 love down into the net And everyone was like, ooh, and I was like, I'm pretty sure he did that on purpose. And then the next 4 balls just went straight in the floor. 6-love set. And then there were 3-love up in the, I think there were 3-love up in the 3rd set. And I turned to someone and I said, it's 12 games all at this point, but it didn't quite feel like that.
Right. Again, I felt that in the singles last night, that Cam seemed to be winning lots of points early on in the first set, and you thought to yourself, well, it must be about 4-1 or 5-1 up here, and it's 2-all and then 3-2. It was last night's tennis was just so tight. There was really nothing in it, and Rob just showed his experience and just kept hanging in there and chiseling away. It was a great match to watch.
Yeah, and at 6-3, 3-love, or 9 games to 3, Cam, it was kind of looking like, okay. And then Rob won the next 3 games, and it got seriously exciting for a little bit.
Yep. And then there was that spell Rob had where he just peppered that dead-on in the start of that 3rd set. I think he got 8 dead-ons out of 10 points. I think I was counting, so that was again.
Yeah, you got Camden still shaking his head about something. He knows I'm talking about it now as well.
Professionals got together to try to encourage people to buy 2 types of shoes these days, because they're going to sell twice as many shoes. If someone's wearing an orange one and a black one, they've got to buy 2 pairs, not 1 pair. So I think he must be on a commission basis for this or something. I think so. Just a proper commentary rather than me. Yeah, got a few. So it'll be interesting to see if the boys can regroup here and come at them a bit.
They're all dead. They're all dead.
They're having quite a bit of a break here. But
Well, the likelihood is, and it's a small game, we do allow things slightly outside the rules sometimes, and it's obvious that Nicky's had to go and rebandage his hand, which is kind of allowable. And there's been long discussions this week about it, actually. Can you grip change? Can you go to the toilet? Can you go and do a restring? Probably not.
And have you touched on the subject of why one of the world's best markers is not at the net mark? Have you gone into that?
Thank you. Players are ready.
Why Andrew's not where he usually likes to be.
Stevens lead by 2-love.
I know it's something to do with health and safety, which is
Third set level
today is very important.
Well, Drew, or Cyclops as we now call him, got a squash ball in the eye a few years ago. Actually, our head lawn tennis pro here nailed him, and he's been. But that's not the main reason. But safety is really the main concern.
Of course, the courts have the centre post, the net post in line with the gallery posts is always a lot more dangerous
15-love
to mark from the net, whereas this one is actually set back correctly so that you don't get that ricocheted off and hit you in the head. So it's one of the safer courts there is to be marked. One of the worst, I think, is Melbourne, which has got a little boxed-in little area. Well, they used to have it on both, but I think they pulled it. Well, I know they pulled it out on one, but you just had nowhere to go. And Hampton Court again is another court that's the net post is in line with the other gallery posts. And there's just nowhere to hide if someone stings one in there.
Great finish.
With Peter Dawes.
30-love.
He was marking Kevin Sheldon in one of the open events, and Kevin thinned his underarm twist and sent it straight towards Peter Dawes. So Peter stuck his hand out and went to catch the ball and broke his little finger, which was a shame, but anyway, he put it in pass and all correct. And there must have been about 5 years
15-30.
later, again the same situation, but Kevin Sheldon was serving an underarm twist and Peter Dawes was at the net marking.
30-15 receiver.
And Kevin Sheldon thinned this underarm twist. But Peter Dawes had enough time in his head to think to himself, I've been here before. Put his finger out and broke the finger again, trying to catch the ball a second time. How? So that was quite unusual to happen. But Peter actually had enough time to think to himself, hang on, I've done this before.
40-15. First gallery, 40-15.
I also had that period in a while where one of your relations down at Canford, Steve, was very concerned about it. He actually used to wear a cricket helmet when he was marking at the net. I don't know if you ever saw him do that. Did they around in those days or not?
No, but it's a bit rich because Steve always used to say it's only pain.
Service lead, 40-15.
Must have been in Canford
Chase
for
the first gallery.
Years now. I don't know how many years, but it's a long time they've had his services.
First gallery.
And again, he's brought a lot of good players into the game as assistants, as your father has. You know, when you look back who the pros in the game, Chris and Steve have been wonderful for the sport.
Game servers.
Nice has a gallery there. Just
first game,
shot. Didn't
third
try to
set.
hit too hard. Get the control up, pump it into the gallery. Again, took the pace off, just controlled the ball.
15 love.
Just guided it into the winning gallery.
Oh.
A little bit of a frame, that one.
Second gallery, 15 love.
It's just amazing how many rallies you get like that where the ball just doesn't hit the floor. It's just volley, 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 volley. You know, if you bought Henry
30 love.
Henry Johns or some of those old players out, they wouldn't know what they're watching.
The ball hit the floor a couple of times.
15-30.
So is your son looking to press up and cover the second? Because they've got a few cheap second galleries off him from cross court.
He was probably hanging back a bit too much there. Yes. I agree with that comment.
40-15, second gallery.
I mean, they're trying to stand further back so they can be more aggressive on the volley, the loose one, but it does mean they're conceding the galleries a little bit more often than other doubles pairings have.
Yeah, it's also good that if you back it, like the worst shot in tennis when you're defending is to be moving backwards with your weight, and so I think there is that little
40-15,
hang back and then move forward
lead.
when you see the shot's going to be coming. So
second gallery
is going to help carry the ball over the net rather than off your back foot and just, you know, defence.
$30-40. Game receivers, 2 games to love, third set.
1-all, see 2 love down. It's running away a bit.
A couple of good serves from Nicky as well.
Yes.
15 love.
Just keep hitting it in that dead-on area where they've got it. They don't have the luxury of letting it go. You've just got to keep hitting the volleys.
I am actually starting to wonder about Nicky's hand because he's been pretty solid for the last couple of days, and the last few games.
Second gallery, 15 love.
I don't think that would help the hand either. I think he caught the ledge.
The grey area. So you're allowed an injury break if it's not a pre-existing injury, which this most certainly is. But then, did he just hurt it? Through doing that, you can kind of claim something else. But we're all friends here. No one really minds.
15 love.
But again, I think he's struggling with his hand a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
Second gallery, both chases, 15 love.
Played in is brilliant. You know, I think that's just a real credit to the game and to the players. It's quite unique in sport.
don't know. I can name a few other sports out there where people are relatively civilized to each other.
Yeah, there's some they're not, but yes. Yeah. It's, it's such a small group at the top.
15 love server leads, second gallery. Fault.
One of the best high serves you can get here is the one that goes side penthouse, one bounce back penthouse. It can come down incredibly. Ah.
30 love second gallery. Fault.
Again, if it looks like they're doing a lot of faults and high serves, that's actually intentionally what they're trying to get as close as they possibly can to doing. 1 foot lower, and that's an amazing serve. So, pretty hard to control over that distance and height.
Yeah, and they're always aiming so that if the serve goes deep, it goes around and becomes a fault. They'd rather that than comes
40
off
love
early and the person gets in and crunches it on the volley. So they're always trying to get it as deep as they can and quite willing to accept a fault.
Fault.
There's a classic,
Game servers.
You watch all these great matches these days and
3 games to love.
I just feel sometimes the serving isn't as dominant as it used to be. Like when your father was world champion, he used to have about 7 serves that I would consider were world championship standard. He put enormous pressure on you just by doing the serve around. Whereas I often see them today, he's just doing bobbles and putting them in.
I think there's a pretty strong argument, say, during Rob's absolute peak, which might have been, I don't know, mid to late 30s, given the experience he gained in the game. His game A was just do a great railroad and cover it up with a forehand volley.
Yeah.
And so it was surface dominant essentially for that time.
Yeah, and the players have got better at forcing on the return and volleying the return to combat that in the way that the railroad was dominating the game. Keep getting it back in play.
30-15. 30-50 time. 30-15 receivers.
Big point here, 30-15 up. 3 love down there.
All.
Still ever so slightly moving backwards there. Almost got behind it.
You do feel this is quite a crunch point at 30 all, 3 love down.
40-30.
Great serve. Last minute bounce.
Nope. Game servers.
Thing about Rob, the way you can just, when you're marking him, he lets
4 games to love.
so low to the ground and pick them up. One of the hardest people I know to mark for. You're only a quarter of an inch above the ground and he's getting them up. That was a shame, that game. That was quite key for the
15 love.
They needed that game.
He also lets you know when he's wrong, when you're wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've all got the stare before, yep. Swearing under his breath. Good force.
15 all.
There it is, that sound that comes from Rob's racket when he hits it so heavy.
30-15.
sure Rob's
Fault.
done the Grand Slams double before. Nick's obviously got a problem with his finger here.
Seriously, though, Nicky's got to think about his future here. There. Like, if I don't know if those of you who haven't seen the cuts on Nicky's hand, there's some serious black stitches going on. It's Frankensteinian. It's not a word, is it?
It would be that the stitches that pull out. You get so much movement on your hand. Such a key spot. No, at least he's got some time to get it healed up for the World Championship Challenge, hopefully.
We okay?
Which will be sometime in January.
Yeah.
This is the last qualifying.
Okay.
So
30-15, receivers lead.
I think between the
second
20th and the 30th of January, I think the first league.
I presume over the next week or two we'll get the bidding in to sorting out which courts will be soon.
40-15.
Yeah, I think it's on a bid basis.
And again.
Yep, well done.
One game to 4.
Juice there is just amazing.
Okay.
Close to the mic, yeah, no problem.
True.
So the ruling is that you're not allowed another injury break unless it's for a new injury. So this is where Nicky should walk off clutching his knee and just kind of go, oh, it's my knee. It's me. If he walks back on with a strap around his knee, then everything will be fine.
I think one of the funny stories many years ago, there's a fellow called Vernon Mercill in Melbourne, and we used to always say that he used to write the gamesmanship rules, and one of the times he was playing on the court and he had this knee bandage on, and he was started to lose the match. So as a bit of gamesmanship, he sits down on the court, takes the knee bandage off and puts it on his elbow. Brain surgeon looking at the injury now. So
Anders Cohen isn't he a back surgeon? Is he a brain surgeon?
Brain surgeon. Yeah, top brain.
Why did I let him operate my back then?
No idea.
That explains a lot.
Sorry.
Shame. Real shame. So I don't know if Rob's done the Grand Slam in the doubles, but I'm pretty sure, I think they said he's at least done it once. But I don't know if anyone's actually done the Grand Slam of the singles and the doubles at the same time, because that's what Cam's looking at doing tonight.
I'd be surprised if Rob hasn't done that, but he never. I mean, who's been his? I mean, Dad was going to ask this question earlier. Who do you think's been Rob's best partnership over the course of the entire time?
I think him and Vergona, when Vergona was on form, was really, Steve used to hit the ball as hard as anyone I've seen, and they used to just dominate it. Again, Ruru was very good in his day as well.
I'd say it's probably Vergona.
Rob being world champion for so many years, how has he managed to achieve such the standard for such a period of time? And I think he's gone through about 4 or 5 playing practice partners in that time. We had Robin Norton, he had Ruri Gunn. Yeah, he's gone through them all, and he's just kept going from strength to strength. It's been amazing, absolutely amazing. And to be playing like he is now at the age of 51, when you look at the double pairings here tonight, you've got an average age at one end of 59, and the age at the other end is 84. So quite a bit.
Said average age. I don't think he meant.
No, if you divide it by 2, you've got 59 years versus 84. So, but again, interesting that they're all in their 30s years old.
I played with Alistair Lumsden this year. We had 99.
Did you really? You nearly had the ton.
That's fair. So on the court now we have Anders Cohen, as mentioned before, Jessica outside, who's been doing a lot of the work for the T&RA, getting this whole shebang together. Must be getting near 5 minutes at this stage. Thank you for holding on, everyone. I think Nikki's up for it again. I'm going to imagine Nikki's parents are watching it out in Melbourne.
Jonathan having a good relax before the next up-and-coming Boomerang Cup, which is all the amateurs will be heading down to Melbourne. I've been lucky enough to attend that for many years, and if you've never played in a Boomerang Cup, well, I'd encourage you to get your entries in, because it is the event for amateurs in the world, and everyone during their career should play one Boomerang Cup. There's no doubt about it.
Thank you. Please
You're from Melbourne, right?
I'm from Melbourne, yeah. They do a wonderful job, and it's a fantastic event.
Thank you. Players are ready. Thank you. Servers lead 4 games to 1. Third set. Out of court, 15 love.
After that, doesn't it?
There might not be much of this left.
$15 all.
It's a fours?
Low force, but he put the pace up and
Poked.
went very close to the tammer. So it's going to go in the deadline.
30-15.
Yeah, he made a great choice. We'd expect him to get it, really. It's normally a little bit more creative.
$30 all.
Bit of a bad bounce there.
Didn't think your balls were allowed to bounce bad, were they? Gee, again, the ability to read that ball and know to leave it when it's only, 2 inches above the dead on.
40-30.
Awareness of where the court is.
Yeah, my balls haven't taken the pounding they normally take during this tournament, actually.
Really?
There's actually been far less sets than usual.
Game servers. 5 games to 1.
And a couple of the big hitters haven't been around. Kieran thumps the ball all the time, Tim thumps the ball all the time. Honestly, these balls could...
Steve is another one that gives it a good hammering. Yep. So we're looking 5-1. Again, that's a gain. One went over the rafters, but wasn't called.
15 love.
But again, that's where you saw that there, where Cam covers the shot that misses the dead on, but he's ready to cover it. The confusion there, but it did definitely go over the rafters. Oh, great serve! Just landed right.
30 love.
Wall. Nearly a spectacular backhand shot there. Edge of the winning gallery doesn't go in.
40 love.
Championship point.
Fault.
Again there, Cam covers the one that misses.
Game,
there it
set,
is.
What a
and
finish.
Game 7 championship. Gives Cam a double Grand Slam of singles and doubles at the same time, as well as his second Grand Slam in doubles. Hell of an achievement. Up here, thanks very much, Ben, and we look forward to seeing all you amateurs down in Melbourne for the Boomerang Cup in January in the good weather, leaving this miserable weather we've been having, lots of rain in England, so it'll be good to see some sun. So come on down and join us.
Thanks, Colin. Thanks everyone for watching.
everybody can make their way on court for presentation. Everybody on court. No? No one? No one? Huh? Let's stay in there.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for coming on court and for attending. Before we go to the main event of the presentations, I have a few thank yous to say. We've had wonderful support from a huge variety of sponsors this week, for which we're very grateful. Derek Mayfield, Press, Riviere up there, Signal. We've had some great coffee at the chairman's meeting from Carraro. Nicholson Gin, I know, did a fun evening. Grays, Martin, and thank you very much for your support here. And James McDermott and Ascot Racing and Hurlingham. I neglected to thank Paul Roger last night, for which I'm intensely sorry. Huge faux pas. But I'm delighted to see large quantities of it being quaffed tonight. It is, of course, the only champagne any real tennis player should ever purchase and drink. So thank them immensely for their support. Some of you know, hopefully you all know, that this tournament is sponsored by the T&RA through the kindness and generosity of a very small number of patrons who have committed to support the tournament for last year, this year and next. And we are immensely grateful to those individuals. They know who they are, and thank you again very much for your support. These events take a huge amount of organisation. We've been very fortunate that Grays have again. Grays. What am I saying? Queen's Club have again allowed us to host the event here. I'm amazed that the tennis and squash playing fraternity don't riot en masse with the effect that we have on the club, but I hope and believe we bring great atmosphere to the club, and I know everyone hugely enjoys being here. So our thanks to Ross and Andrew. Thank you very much indeed, and to the members. I'm not sure how many people were watching the streaming tonight. I know last night's streaming had 220 viewers, and actually as we came in tonight, last night's match had been watched by over 1,000 people, which I think is some kind of a record, and I think it's fantastic. Facilitated hugely by Ryan. Where are you, Ryan? Are you hiding up there still? For those of you that don't know Ryan, he is a member, I'm not sure of how many clubs in the States, but I know he's a Washington man originally, and has been locked away in a dark corner, switching between cameras and doing a huge amount of work. So Ryan, we're very grateful, as is, I'm sure, everyone who's watched it on the streaming. The social program this year has been frenetic and very well organised, and I'm delighted, I'm grateful to Savannah, Freddie's partner in crime, on this. It's been great fun, and I have a small token, Freddie, for your all that you have done. So thank you very much. This is a completely crazy time for the T&RA office. Those of you who have any interest in rackets will know that last weekend and this weekend it was the finals of the World Championship. It was also the finals of the British Amateur in rackets. So all the activities and events relating to that have been ongoing, as well as the small matter of the main real tennis event of the year for us. So the office have been burning the midnight oil. Andrina, thank you very much for all of your help. And particularly I wanted to thank Jess, and I'm sorry I've lost the date you gave me, but we are trying this year, and those of us who are anything over about 35 probably will not be aware of this, but there is a vast amount of social media going out in relation to this event. I think we've had over 50,000 hits on the T&RA website. We've had over 50,000 viewings on Facebook. We're Instagramming with tweets. 20,000 tweets, I think it was. Vast amounts of stuff which is what we want to do and what we need to do, and we welcome all the readership, the followership that it's getting for tennis. So thanks very much, Jess. I'm sure you're too young to drink, but thank you very much. And last in the way of thank you, but by no means least, I spoke to Alistair last night as he left, and I said, how's it all going out? There was a pause for breath and a degree of hesitation. Alistair and Ben have run this tournament together for a few years now, and Alistair has run this tournament for a very long time. And for anyone who spoke to him during the course of the last week, and I spoke to it earlier today, he was sort of pacing around with the air of an expectant father. Why anyone would volunteer to put their head into this particular noose, I don't know, but we are immensely grateful, Al and Ben, for everything you've done and running the event so impeccably. So would you like a bottle of champagne, perhaps? Andrew, I know you don't drink, but we've been very fortunate to have the services of Andrew Lyons, who everyone knows is the preeminent marker in the world. Never beyond doubt, except occasionally the raised eyebrow shows a mere question. But it's lovely to have you here, Drew, and I'm sure you've been welcomed back by all friends. So thank you very much indeed for your help. And before we get to the presentations for the main event tonight, we have a couple of presentations that I'm sure you are aware. We have the AGM dinner tomorrow night, and there are awards made typically at that dinner. But for reasons that will become apparent, two of the award winners cannot be there tomorrow night. So we're making those two awards tonight. The first award is to a gentleman who's delighted us tonight on court with his play, and it is the Warburg Salver, which is awarded for the best performance in tennis in the year. Is that right? By a professional. And this award this year is going to John Lumley, who won the IRTPA Pro Singles last year in a remarkable achievement. And so it's our pleasure, John, to award you the Warburg Trophy. The other award is, I'm not sure what it's called, but it goes, I think it's the Junior Improver of the Year, so it's for the best improvement by a junior. This young man is a little bit too young to be allowed to come to the AGM dinner tomorrow night. I'm sure it's long past his bedtime. It's probably already long past his bedtime now. Max Warner I remember seeing Max play about 4 years ago when he had to have a footstool to take balls out of the dodon. He has now grown a little bit more than that, but it's still a bit of a stretch to take balls out of the dodon. He won the under-12 singles and doubles this year at age 8. He's the youngest ever winner of the under-12s. And I'm not sure what his handicap improvement is this year, but he also went over to the US and won both the under-12 singles and doubles in the US. We're really trying to encourage youth and promote youth engagement in the game, and it's great to see you playing the game, enjoying the game, and achieving so much. So, Max? I hope everyone who watched the doubles tonight was inspired by it. I know we all would love to believe we can go out in court and play like that, and even the most deluded of us don't believe it in our heart of hearts. But I hope it has inspired you all to go and play more doubles. The fun of the game is wonderful and manifest, and to see the enjoyment of the guys on court and the partnership they had. I thought the partnership of Cam and John was interesting. John's really obviously struggling, and Cam's lent him a shoelace just to make sure. But it was great to see the enjoyment and the affection that the pairs had for each other and the spirit the game was played. I think we were deprived a fantastic match. It was a great game, but I'm sorry that we were deprived, and I know poor old Nikki was struggling. Don't go and look at the photographs of it, guys. It's not pleasant. But our commiserations and congratulations to the losers, Nikki Howell and Rob Fahey. The semi-finals at the weekend, and for which apologies, family commitments were significant, but the semi-finals scorelines make really impressive reading, and the skill level exhibited on court was awesome. I don't think any of us would like to be on the receiving end of those strokes when they were opened up, but I still remember a rest in the first set where Rob lammed about 8 straight at the Dodon, straight at John's head, and they all just kept coming back. So our congratulations, Cam and John. Well played indeed.
Firstly, I want to thank everyone here for coming out tonight. It was fantastic playing in such a big crowd. I don't think I've ever played in front of a bigger crowd, so thank you very much. To the tournament organisers, all the time and energy you put into making this week go smoothly for us, we really appreciate it. Obviously, Mr. Carey for all his streaming, growing the game on social media and everything, we really appreciate that. To all the sponsors and support we get from them, without those we wouldn't be able to come over here and play, so we really appreciate that. To my partner, you were on fire all week, mate, so thank you for making my life a little bit easier out here on the doubles court. To Queen's Club for giving up their court and their time, to Ben and his staff for the marking, making the balls. I know a lot of work goes behind it. And then lastly to our opponents tonight, thank you for a fantastic match. Nikki, I hope your hand heals up, and we'll see you back stronger than ever. Perfect. Thank you very much.